What's up, y'all, man? It's Warbucks, man. You are now tuned into the real review. Just got out of seeing the movie Backrooms. Now, I know normally I'm probably in the theater for those that watch me regularly, but it's a lot going on. Like, man, the movie theater is way more packed on a Tuesday in the middle of the day. Like nobody got to go to work or nothing anymore. It's kind of crazy because normally it's not as many people at the theaters right now, and I'm able to just record. But people keep opening doors, loud music. It's a little bit too much distraction going on for me giving my review, and I want to give this the proper due respect and time it deserves. Yeah, man. So we back outside. You know what I'm saying? Literally and figuratively, we back outside. So yeah, man. Just seeing this movie Obsessions, man. This movie is a mind freak. What the did I just watch? I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe what I just seen. I'm trying to process what I just seen because this movie is insane. Like I don't even know what I just watched. I don't even know. Like, oh man. Okay, so let me just do my best to describe this movie. First off, the acting in the movie is really, really good, man. Shout out to old boy. Uh I really just want to call him CE because I just don't really know how to pronounce his name. I do recognize the female character. I've seen her in something else, but I can't remember what. But she was good in whatever else it was I seen her in. But yeah, so the movie starts off. Backrooms starts off with like a mom and a daughter just kind of like standing over something. And actually, no, my bad. I'm skipping the intro. The intro starts off with a camera, like you get a POV shot of like a old school camera, camcorder or whatever recording. You get a POV shot, and this shot I like to credit the Blair Witch Project for that because I believe they're the first movie that I ever remember coming out that created this whole subgenre of films of where you get a whole shot of a POV shot of like a camera, like a documentary type style movie. And since then, there have been other movies that have came out. There was this one movie. This is probably one of my favorite movies that is like that, the documentary style type shot movie. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a movie where, it's like a green monster destroying a city, and then you got these people recording it, showing themselves, recording it as it is destroying everything. Their lives are playing out. You kind of see their lives play out because they're kind of recording everything. And it was kind of well done because it was at a time where people kind of were in that age of really recording everything they were doing and stuff like that. But yeah, and it's like a monster in the backdrop, green monster, and they made like two spin-offs to this movie within the same world. I just can't think of the name of it. Produced by J.J. Abrams, I think directed by him too. I'm not sure, but yeah. While I was in the theater, man, shout out to J.J. Abrams. Got a new movie coming out that looks like it might be good. I want to see it, and of course, Steven Spielberg. I got to watch the trailer for Disclosure Day. Let's see if I see the poster out here for Disclosure Day. I want to see that as well. I got to see the full trailer, and man, that shit looks good, bro. Steven Spielberg don't miss. And I was being a little hard on him, a little skeptical, but yeah, that looked like that shit gonna be fire actually. When I seen the trailer, yeah, nah, they ain't got no poster for Disclosure Day, but I guess because it ain't out yet. But so anyway, the movie starts out with this old school camcorder in a room, yellow walls, and this guy is breathing heavy, looking around. And then he just starts like, he's like looking around, running. His chairs all stacked up in the wrong place. Very strange looking room. It's a POV shot and you just hear heavy breathing. Then you hear like these loud steps. And then you kind of see him run. He runs into another room and he tries to go through the door, but the door won't open. So then he runs back the way he goes and he runs into something and boom. And I was like, God dang, I ain't gonna lie, I jumped a little bit. It's kind of like the fear of the unknown. It's kind of what they kind of bank this movie off of. And I like that because that's kind of how I like to go into my movies, not knowing much about them unless they're like sequels or something like that. Or I just happen to just stumble upon knowing some shit about the movie. But most of the time, 9 times out of 10, I don't really like to know too much background. I like to go in blind. So like this movie operates off the fear of that, the unknown, because you don't really see what he's running from, but you feel it, like the music in the background. But right off the bat, the movie feels outdated. It feels like a period piece, like it's done in the 90s. There's so many people pulling up right now. It's crazy. It is. So much. Like you can't even god dang. But so the video like continues. So anyway, they get past the intro of the movie, like the guy runs into it, he disappears, then we cut to now a woman, a mom, and a daughter now standing outside, and they're like looking down, and then you see a house being demolished, and then they show a white lady, which I believe is the lady in the poster. She's standing there and she's just staring, looking, trying to figure out. She's just standing there staring, looking. I'm assuming they're demolishing the old house that she used to live in, and that was her as a child and her mom when I see this scene. And so then they kind of they cut to her in her room, and she has a patient that she's seeing, and it's our main character CE, and he he's having a conversation with her. Now I feel like both of these people are our stars, our main characters of this movie, and we see them both like have their little moment where they had a little back and forth, therapy session, and he's talking about how his wife has left him, and they have like where she plays his wife and he plays himself, and they have the talk of where he got kicked out of his own house, and he makes a note of that, like, yo, this is my house that I pay for. And so they had a little argument, they had a back and forth, and he like blows up and just starts to like have this moment where he's just like going crazy. He's just going crazy. And so and then he goes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow up like that. But you get some real out of him finally. You do. You get some real out of him. And so what he ends up doing is he goes back to they cut next to him doing a commercial in a pirate outfit. And as he's doing his commercial in a pirate outfit, he's doing a commercial in a pirate outfit, CE. He starts off, he's like on a crutch, and then he's got like the stilt leg, and he's like walking. He's doing a thing, then he kind of like falls in the seat. There's 2 people helping him record. There's a woman and a guy with a camera helping him record. And he falls on the floor, and he's like, stop recording. He's like, we keep this for the outtakes. He's like, cut the camera off. So he's embarrassed. And so, he gets back to work. And you see him working in this furniture store throughout the movie, but you never really see no customers ever come in or him helping anybody. you know. But yeah, he's working there at this furniture store. He's seeing his therapist. And he goes into his regular life. He's living out of the furniture store because he got kicked out of his house. And so then he basically like he goes in and just random everyday life. Is kind of not really much going on here. We just see flashes of everyday life between the characters. And then the main character of the story, CE, him and the power man are checking the circuit breaker to see what's going on. I guess they're having some electrical problems, and they find two red knobs at the bottom of the circuit breaker. And it's like he's like, yo, it's not even connected to anything. Like, why is this even here? He calls up to the girl that was there at the beginning, that was helping, standing next to the guy recording. He works there, and she works there, and the guy that was with him is her boyfriend, just helping out by recording. And so they 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 find these two red buttons at the bottom of the circuit breaker, and he calls up to her because they flipped the switch to try to see if there's any power change in the building. And she says, no, there's no change. That I think there's another rat. I thought we killed the rat. She was like, yeah, we killed a rat, meaning there could be more rats. So they end up, he finds out that the red little buttons at the bottom of the circuit breaker, which, by the way, not connected to anything, very strange. And so he goes down there, he flips, he's sleeping there, and I think he sees like a rat or whatever. He sees or he sees something move. So he gets up and goes to the circuit breaker to kind of and he flips like all the switches. He's pissed off. Flips all the switches one way, like off, and then he flips the red switch, and all the lights cut off. So now we got to change with the red switch, with the red flip. The circuit breaker switches at the bottom, not connected to anything. It's like somebody just inserted it there. It's just very strange. Like the power guy didn't even understand what was going on. So CE, he tries to flip the other switches, flipping it back and forth, trying to see if something happens. And then, he goes over, and then he kind of like sticks his hand through a wall. He walks through the wall in the back of the furniture store, and he goes through and he goes in. Then he steps back on the other side. Then he goes in. Now, right here, I was questioning the realism a little bit, because a black man discovering some secret wall in the back of a furniture store, I don't know if I would have went in and been looking around and all that. I would have been flipping that switch. I might have sold the business and started me a furniture store somewhere. I might have moved. Like, I might have had to uproot. That's a little bit too weird. I don't want to dive too much deep into that. And I don't know a lot of black people that would have tried to even go down that path, but black people are not a monolith. So honestly, there's some black people with some curiosity out there that might have dived a little deeper just to go see what's going on in this room. What's going on? Me personally, I'm not that too invested in the unknown like that, man. My life pretty boring, and I kind of want to keep it that way. A little safe and boring. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little excitement here and there, but I don't mean going through walls into other buildings. And so that aren't supposed to be there, that don't exist. So, but anyway, he goes in and he walks around this room, and it's a yellow room, lights. By the way, there's different points in this movie that show you that this is in the time period of the 90s. There's infomercials. The commercial he made feels like it was made for the 90s. Like, you can tell this is a period piece. This was not done in 2025 or 2020 or 2015. Like, this feels like this was definitely done in the 90s when infomercials were more prominent, more well-known. It's a period piece. Why they chose to do it then, I don't know. But it's the fear of the unknown, and go into this weird room, and he goes in there, he walks around, he looks around, he goes through a different door here. Somehow he hears something. By the way, he sees a bird a random bird, chairs in random places. It's a very strange outlook of what we seeing in the movie. And so he comes back through the door, but he can't find the wall. Like he's like looking because he starts to hear these loud footsteps that kind of scare him to go back to where he came from. And then he somehow finds the wall and goes through it. And so the next day he goes back to talk to his therapist again, and he immediately tells her about this wall. He even has drawn up the wall like like a blueprint, because they show him drawing earlier in the movie. He can draw a little bit. He draws up a blueprint of the back room place that he's been to, this unknown yellow, it looks like an office building. It's got like the lights at the top, and so he kind of describes it as like trying to tell somebody who's never seen a dog, trying to describe to somebody who's never seen a dog before what a dog looks like, and then having them draw it. Like they're gonna get some of the things right, but they're gonna get things off. That's what the Backrooms world is like. I feel at some point in the movie, I can't remember when, there was a guy with glasses that's like looking at them on like a security screen, like watching what's going on. And I don't really understand. They showed a flash of that and never really explained that. And so then CE, like I said, he goes back to his therapist to tell him about this back room place that he went to, these yellow walls and these lights and stuff, and describe it. And he looks crazy, obviously. And then I never understood why characters do this, but people are like this in real life. I guess that's why I'm not like this. That's why I never understood it. Why people go to explain somebody something that does not make any sense. In the natural world, it just doesn't even make sense that you wouldn't believe this if somebody came and told you this. Then they get mad when you don't believe them. I never understood why people did that. Like, I would even embrace people to say, there's no way you're going to believe what I'm telling you. I'm literally going to have to show you proof. Like, I would just probably come with proof off top. There's no way I would show up and be telling somebody some wild story that don't make sense. If I can't prove it, more likely I probably won't even bring it up. You know what I'm saying? Until I could. But he got mad when she couldn't prove it. And I mean, it checks out that he's like this. When he goes on his rant to his wife, it's a whole lot of you did this, you did that. His wife is in school to be a lawyer while he's working at a furniture store. They're working together to get their lives together. He's not where he want to be, so he's upset about that. But he's blaming everything on his wife, when in reality, all his problems are really his life. And this is a very important thing, because at first I was going to say I don't really have no moral to the story, but there is a little bit of a moral within the character of CE, that he doesn't really like accept the responsibility of the things that happen in his life. And a lot of people don't. They think that, it's too hard, or the system was set up like this. There's always excuses for why people are where they are, when in reality, the reason why you are where you are in your life is because of you. And so I kind of got into that early, but hey, I just felt it and went with it. But anyway, so he tells her, she doesn't believe it, the blueprint. He goes back and he's like, I'm gonna prove it to you. And so then he goes immediately to the girl that works for him and her boyfriend, go to their hotel room. He said, man, can you guys come in tomorrow? I will pay you for 2 hours. And he said, for what? Research. I need you to borrow that camera again and come. And so he goes, he gets the camera. He gets the camera for research. And they come and they're like, you still haven't really told us about here. He's like, I did research. But you gotta give us more detail. And so at this point now, he got like a line, like you could tell he's been to this place a bunch of times at this point. Like even when he was describing it to his psychiatrist, he had been there a bunch of times. So like he done made like a drawing. He got wires, he got supplies. They bring the camera, they videotaping themselves going into this room. He brings them with him. He opens up, he flips that switch. He goes through, I don't know if he flipped the switch, but he just walks through the wall. And when they see it on camera, they both freaking out like, what the And so the girl is freaking out the most, but the cameraman, he's like, yo, you should just come too. So the cameraman goes through and you see it. Now we're seeing it in the POV shot of the old camera, like we did at the beginning of the movie. I'm not sure if the beginning of the movie was this guy. When I saw this scene, I was like, oh, maybe this is where we saw that scene from of what happened to him at the beginning. I'm not sure. I think this is what happened to him. But when you see what happens long term, it doesn't feel like this is what happened to him. This was like this happened to somebody else here. I'm just not sure. But either way, what he ends up doing is he ends up going through they end up all three going through the wall and walking around exploring things. They get to this little part where there's like a slide down, like a little slide, and the black dude's like, yo, why don't you go down there? He brought rope, so he already knows this place exists, and he's like, look, if you go down this little thing, just tug on it and I'll pull you back up. And it's like a little slide down, and like there's a bunch of doors, random doors in these rooms you can just go through it. It's like, you know, when he describes it to the psychiatrist, it's like huge, like a subway, like it's big, it's a vast area. And so he comes down, he goes down with the rope on him. You know, he's young, so in his mind, he's like, it'll be all right. It's not even that steep. And I'm looking at him like, it's pretty steep. As he's going down, he's like, oh, it is that steep. And he goes down into this little thing. When he gets down there, he's like in a basement and there's like clothes everywhere. He's like, it stinks down here. He's looking around and then he's like, oh my God, what is going on down here? And so he's like, yo, it stinks. He's looking around and the guy's yelling at him, trying to get him, CE is yelling at him, trying to get him to tell him everything that he sees down there. And then next thing you know, they tie his rope to a bed, by the way. I forgot to mention that, to a bed that's sitting in there. And I guess what ends up happening is something, I don't know what happened, but it attacks him, it grabs him and pulls him. We don't see it. Like, again, they operate off the fear of the unknown because you don't know what grabbed him, but it grabs him and it pulls him, and he runs to get back up the thing. He gets all the way back up, and I guess some of the rope is still down in there. And whatever is down there that's making that loud stomping noise that you hear at the beginning, and when CE goes in there the first time, it grabs the rope and it pulls him, and they're holding him, but it pulls him, and it pulls him down into this basement, pulls him down this little slide, and it doesn't stop pulling. It pulls the bed, which knocks them, CE and his employee, the girlfriend of the guy, they all get pulled down the little slide themselves. And then we don't really know what happens from there. They get pulled in there. When they fall down in there, we do see him getting pulled by the rope into this little dark area, and we don't know where the hell he goes, but he's out of here. He gets sucked into that room, and it's like, oh my God, what is going on? Where is this place? Your mind, when I tell you my mind is spinning after watching this movie, it's very crazy. I don't even know what I just watched. But anyway, so next they show the psychiatrist. She's going through her life. Just, you know, it seems like what's heavy on her mind is her mom. And you know, her life, that's what's heavy on her mind right now. That they're demolishing the house that she used to live in, and just maybe the way she came up wasn't always the best. But anyway, she go through her life, I guess. Her patient never shows up for the meeting, and you know, actually, I think the very next scene they show after they disappear is they show a little girl standing by a window, and she's standing by the window and she's like unlocking the window to open the window. And as she tries to open the window, the mom shows up and said, hey, I never told you could go outside. I said you could never, ever go out there. Never, ever. It's off limits. So they tell him that, the mom tells him that, and then it's like a bunch of clothes by the wall and something's happening there. It's weird. And then she wakes up from the dream, the psychiatrist. So when you see this scene, I automatically assume that was her and her mom when she was a child. And she just wakes up out of nowhere. He wakes up out the room. Then she gets a voicemail call from CE, her patient, and he says, you know, he says, I unlocked the window or something like that. And so she's like, what the? It's just very, very strange. I'm even trying to figure out how the heck he even called her and left this voicemail. Like, where are we? Are we in the mind of somebody? I'm really trying to figure this movie out as I'm watching it. It's crazy. So then, she what ends up happening next is the woman, the psychiatrist, she ends up going and walking to his furniture store to go see what's going on because that voicemail matched her dream. It's strange. She's trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So she goes and she walks over to his furniture store. When she gets there, she notices there's mail, a whole bunch of mail stuck at the bottom, like nobody's been there to take the mail. She opens up the door, she goes into the furniture store, the lights is off. There's a big sign of the pirate in front. Remember, he did the pirate commercial at the beginning for the furniture store, the ad to sell it. And so what ends up happening is she goes into the furniture store, she goes in there, and she's just looking around, and I think she may have a flashback of the drawing or something, and she goes through the wall, and she realizes like, oh dang, he was not lying, he was not crazy, this is real. And so what she ends up doing, she goes through the wall, she goes in, and she's looking around, and she's like, man. So she goes into the room, there's chairs everywhere, and then she goes over to a corner and she's just looking at stuff up on the wall, and behind her you see like a glimpse of something around the corner, like it's hiding. And so then she looks over and she sees, and she says the guy's name, CE, the character's name. And he talks and he says, hey, he's like, yeah, see, it's like I told you. He comes up to her, walks up to her slowly. You can hear something in the background, loud footsteps. Don't know what it is, but yeah, he's like, it's okay, you know me, it's just me. It's loud footsteps in the background. And so then he puts his hand around her neck and he chokes her. And when he chokes her, she kind of like goes out, she passes out, and she wakes up, she's being tied to a chair. And as she's being tied to a chair, he's there. There's some guy sitting at the table that's fat. His face is messed up. His eyes are sideways. There's a woman behind him with 3 eyes, mouths in the wrong place. And he says, yeah, there's probably real people out there that look like this. It's like it remembers everything, but it doesn't remember everything quite right. You know what I'm saying? This place is quite fascinating. And you know what I'm saying? He said, the crazy thing is you can eat them. He was like, everything here, it can't talk, it doesn't feel. He sticks like a knife in the throat of the fat dude sitting at the table. He's like, it's like furniture. And then he rips out parts of the stomach, and the parts of the stomach look like the inside cushion of a sofa. And he puts it on the plates. I'm like, he been eating the insides of these people? This is so weird. These eyes. And I'm like, he the villain. I'm like, but why? Why? What's going on? Did he stay here so long that he lost his mind? So Anyway, he um he it's just a mind freak of a movie, man. You don't understand what's going on. So they sit at the dinner table and then they do the act out thing again, like they did at the beginning where he's playing himself and she's playing his wife. Except this time, because she's tied to a chair, she's scared, freaking out. She goes off on him and lets him know the real. Like, yo, you don't know how to accept responsibility for your screw ups. He was like, you just want to blame everybody else. And then so he's like, well, how do I fix that? And then she's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can fix anybody. And so you just get some real raw emotion come out of her at that dinner table. And so, and then she was like, just stay how you are. This is how you naturally have set up. And then next thing you know, you start hearing this loud noise, a loud walking noise. And finally we get the reveal of this loud noise that we've been hearing. And it's like this big pirate monster version of CE. Yeah, big pirate looking version of him. He comes out and he goes, what are you doing in here? Like, very comfortable with this big monster. And he's just like, yo, he's like, look, man. And so, and before it is, he decides to let her go. He does. He says he feels comfortable in here. This is the first time he's ever felt like he's supposed to be anywhere in his life. Like he feels like this is where he's supposed to be. She says, well, you can stay here, but you got to let me go. And so he starts to do that. He cuts one of her hands free, but as the other one's left free, that's when the big thing comes out, the big pirate version of him. And then he goes in, the big pirate thing goes in there and tries to attack. The big pirate thing tries to attack. Well, actually, no, what happens is it's like they hugging each other and the big pirate thing just takes a bite out of his shoulder, bite out of his neck. He's bleeding. I mean, it's crazy when he takes the bite out of him. And he pretty much kills him. Like he just balls and he's like, what are you doing? And so then the girl, she freaking out. She trying to rip her hand off. And there's a point where CE goes to the refrigerator and he opens the fridge door and the head of the girl that worked for him, that the boyfriend with the camera, her head is just chilling in the refrigerator. He's like, I tried to help her, but she didn't want to listen. I'm like, this dude is off his rocker. He's out his mind right now. It's crazy, bro. This movie is insane. It's a mind freak. So she goes, she somehow gets free, and this monster chases her into just keeps chasing after her. She gets into the furniture store. She picks up a weapon to protect herself, and it's coming at her. She's backing into furniture as it's coming at her, and the woman, she knocks the peg of the leg and breaks it, and it falls on the floor. And so when it falls on the floor, and it hurts itself. But she keeps running. She tries to run and get away from it. But then some people come in, or not people, but something falls and an alarm goes off and smoke comes everywhere that makes her kind of almost pass out. Like she's almost about to pass out on the floor from what happened. But what ends up happening is she ends up getting up and kind of getting away because the thing starts to get on top of her. This scene is so intense. It's terrifying. This big CGI version of him, of a pirate, is on top of her, and she starts pushing at his head and fighting to get away from it. And I can't remember exactly how she was able to get away from it, what happened to it, but somehow she was able to get away from that big pirate thing, and she went through this little door. And when she gets about halfway through it, for some reason she just stops because he can't get through. He's too big. He's fighting to get through the middle of the door, and she just stops and looks at it. And then she goes through to the other side. When she gets to the other side, there's more of these quarantine people in quarantine suits, and they just start spraying smoke, which kind of makes her tired again, sleepy. And then I think she passes out. They're carrying her, and then she wakes up in a room, like a room where they interrogate people at. And so So then she talks to the guy that we saw earlier in the movie that was watching the people on the camera, and he's just asking her a bunch of questions. Like, how did you get here? Who were you looking for? Was it this guy? She refuses to answer his question. And so then in the end, what she ends up doing is she doesn't really ever answer his questions. She starts asking all her other questions like, where am I? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? And the guy tells him, hey, I found this room. I've been here multiple times. And he's like, I'm here studying this room, just trying to figure out, this is way more important than the world we live in type thing. But yeah. And then, at the end of that conversation, there's different flashes go by, and then she just becomes one of those things with the multiple eyes, just sitting in a room in the back rooms now. And I don't know what the freak I just watched. I have no clue. This movie is terrifying. It's a mind freak. You don't know what the hell you're watching. You don't know what's going on. You never really find out what you're really watching or what's going on. There's no moral really to the story except the main character, CE, his life and him not accepting responsibilities. This is something that a lot of people could probably look at themselves in the mirror and start accepting responsibilities for how their life turned out. And once they do that, maybe they can start to fix that and change their lives for the better, find some happiness, some peace with where they are, maybe be a little bit more appreciative for the little things and for the things that they're not happy about in their lives. Maybe they can work their behinds off to change it. But this movie is so weird. I don't even know what popcorn bucket score I want to give it. It's a very strange movie. It doesn't exactly give you no rhyme or reason. It's just feeling there when you watch it. But one thing I can say about this movie is it's pretty terrifying. Um, it is. I kind of want to give this movie maybe like a 3 popcorn buckets out of 5. Yeah, I don't know if it was good enough to be a 4. I don't. It's definitely not a 5, but I don't think it was good enough to be a 4. I just don't. It's a very weird movie. Yeah, I may change my mind later, but right now my first initial thought after seeing this movie is it's about a 3. It is because I don't know. I don't even know what the hell I just watched. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to process this. I gotta watch this again and maybe see if I can process it a little bit better. Maybe get some more understanding behind it, or maybe this is just something you don't understand. It's just there to make you feel certain things, and it definitely did a good job making you feel these type of emotions of terror, of fear. Um, I feel like this movie is probably more of a take a look at your life type of movie. Like it's a kind of a character study done in a horror type of way. Like it's some deep things going on here that I just haven't yet understood or connected to. I guess there's different ways you can interpret a lot of things that you watch. Different people gonna see different things or feel different things based on their experiences in their life. So, but anyway, that's what I'm gonna leave it at. A 3 popcorn buckets out of 5. It's the real review, man. Let's talk about this movie. This movie was strange. It was weird. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Um, it doesn't. None of it does. Just like the back rooms, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like the specific place in the movie, the back room, not the movie. But yeah, both doesn't really make a lot of sense. But either way, man, let's talk about it. Hit me up in the comment section, like, subscribe to the real review, and let's have a discussion. But anyway, man, I'm out. It's the real review.